Hello, welcome. So Kagan Pay Williams is running for New York State Senate for District 21 in Brooklyn. Kagan's response to the Amplifier questionnaire identified her priorities as affordable child care and a living wage for child caregivers, food security and a just COVID recovery, and gun violence prevention. So Kagan, in the past month, it has been reported that Governor Hochul has a 10-point plan to change the state's cash bail reforms. Among the changes in the plan were legislative measures that would give judges the ability to set a higher bail requirements for defendants that are deemed a possible danger if free, and allow the police to arrest someone for a crime that would normally require a desk appearance ticket, which would clear the way for a judge to impose bail. Given your experience as an attorney at the Manhattan DA's office and now at Everytown for gun safety, and having seen the implications of these laws, what is your opinion on the governor's position on this issue? And if you are elected to the state senate, how will you work to uphold the cash bail reforms, or how will you work to change them? You have 90 seconds.
Thank you so much. Try to quite a lot to answer in 90 seconds, but I want to thank you all for having me here today. It's a great honor to be before an organization that helps women run for office, so thank you for being here. So to answer your question, as a former Manhattan ADA and as a woman of color, I have gotten the question several times, why would you participate in a system that helps to incarcerate a lot of people that look like you? And the answer has been, the system exists, and I'm a pragmatist. If I'm not at the table, then a lot of decisions are being made that impact people that look like me and my family members. I think it's important to be at the table. To answer your question, though, about bail, there has really been a misunderstanding of, I've had people say things like, well, because of bail reform, people are committing more crimes, and of course that's not the case. What I do understand is that we do need to be able to give courts as much information as possible so that they can assess each individual case to decide whether or not someone is a public safety risk. I do think that is important for public safety purposes. But I think that the idea of further incarcerating someone who would otherwise be released on their recognizance if they could have had a desk appearance certificate, not necessary, right? There is no reason to be over incarceratory. Sorry, and I don't think I got to the entire question. There's a lot to say.
No, thank you. That was a lengthy question for only 90 seconds, so thank you so much. So our next question, in January, Governor Hochul announced plans to build the Interborough Express line, which will connect currently underserved areas of Brooklyn and Queens. The goal is to reduce travel times and congestion and expand economic opportunities. If elected, how will you ensure that this transit project benefits New Yorkers in Kensington and Flatbush?
Thank you for asking this question. We absolutely need this Transitboro Express. The eastern part of my district is a complete transit district. As the lines were redrawn and I was drawn into the district, I took, with my campaign manager, we took about 3 hours to drive through the entire district. And it was really hard to find a bus stop, train station. The closest train station was Brooklyn College. So this is something that's badly needed. One thing that I also see as I walk around my district is this image of a lot of women that remind me of my grandmother. A woman with 2 and 3 bags in her hand, walking for blocks and blocks. It's just this visceral memory, or just like this visceral thing of watching women walk with heavy bags on their shoulders and their hands. So we need access to different parts of the district so that people aren't walking everywhere. There's a lot of interest in making sure that people aren't driving cars, but the question is, where are people supposed to put their bags? Where are people supposed to walk? We didn't have a car in my family until we were 13, so I remember very distinctly standing at bus stops when it was cold, when it was hot, and waiting for the bus that would never come. So we need this express transit, and we need it immediately.
Thank you. This is a quick question. Are you accepting funds from real estate and/or fossil fuel interests? Why or why not?
No, I'm not. And I'm not doing it because I think we understand that money corrupts and that nothing is free. Being a first-time candidate, being a woman of color, being a gay woman, it is hard to raise money, but it comes at a cost if you take money from people who wish to do you harm, in your community harm.
Thank you. An audience member from Brooklyn asked, if elected, will you support pay equity and telework policies for your constituents that are city employees?
Absolutely. I wish there was a way to expand this bill to not only cover city workers, but state workers, people working for nonprofits, people working for private companies. I will say it again for the people in the back. We're requiring people to go back into the office is ableist, and it absolutely excludes working parents, such as myself. I can't tell you how much I get done in a day for being able to work at home and then go and pick up my 4-year-old daughter. I absolutely want city workers who are able to do their jobs and do it well to be able to have the option of being at home. And also, not everybody feels comfortable. We have suffered a trauma throughout the world. So many people have died. And you're just forcing us to go back into the office. It's absolutely cruel, and we need change.
Thank you, and now we're on our last question. You'll have 2 minutes to answer this. You now have the opportunity to speak about a policy issue of your choice that the previous questions did not give you the opportunity to address.
Thank you so much, and thank you for this time. I will say that during my time walking around the district, one singular issue that I did not anticipate that has come up quite a bit is that there are a lot of people who are homeowners in our district, and many of them black and brown people who are struggling to keep up with their mortgage payments, struggling to keep up with rising property tax costs, struggling to keep up with utilities, and they feel like they've been left out of the conversation. There has been this dichotomy which seems to say that you have to choose renters or choose homeowners. And I think that I want to really get to Albany so that we can change that conversation. And I'm not just talking about homeowners who happen to also have renters, but I'm talking about people who are trying to hold on to generational wealth to give it back to their kids, and they're losing their homes because of predatory surveyors coming to their homes, trying to get them to sell their house for a minuscule portion of what it's worth. And I really want to talk about this conversation because the budget did not include enough money for HOPE, HOP, I could be mispronouncing it, but a program which serves to fund social workers and attorneys that help homeowners who are at risk of losing their homes and their wealth for their families. So I do want to elevate that conversation for a lot of immigrants, a lot of black and brown people who are struggling, who are working 2 and 3 jobs just to hold on to that piece of the American dream. So I do want to uplift that conversation.
Well, thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you. And let's welcome our next candidate.